Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Caroline Doyle, and these are your 3:30 BCIT news headlines. More trees are expected to come down in Stanley Park. The Vancouver Park Board continues its mitigation work following the hemlock looper outbreak. Not everyone is happy with the decision. BCIT reporter Riley Cunningham has more on the forestry fumble.
So far, 11,000 damaged trees have been felled in Stanley Park after being ravaged by hemlock loopers in 2020. The trees pose a threat to visitors of the park due to the risk of collapse, and the park board is continuing their work to mitigate the issue this week. Despite documented damage, Stanley Park Preservation Society Director Michael Robert Kaditz says the city isn't doing what's right for the park.
So the position of Stanley Park Preservation Society is that this is a manufactured crisis. There is no need for any project, any logging operation, any risk mitigation operation to remove trees that have been defoliated by the looper.
The park board expects work to be completed by 2027, which includes 50,000 saplings already planted in the area to replace the damaged trees. Riley Cunningham, BCIT News.
The BC Teachers Federation is at an impasse with their employer, bargaining for better working conditions. BCIT reporter Joe McHugh finds out why teachers may consider leaving the profession.
According to BC Teachers Federation President Carol Gordon, sticking points in the bargaining process include improvements to working conditions. That includes things such as preparation time, starting salary for new teachers, and rising workloads.
50% of the teachers surveyed said that their workload was increasing. 14% of those that same surveyed group said that they were considering leaving in the next 2 years. And that's not just beginning teachers, that could be anybody in the profession. It's getting harder.
Gordon says that teachers have no desire to engage in job action, but are willing to do so if it becomes necessary to secure a fair deal. Joe McHugh, BCIT News.
A legal society says the soon-to-end decriminalization project in BC needed more consideration. BCIT News reporter Eden Chipperfield has more on what the advocates are saying.
On January 14th, the BC government announced that it would not be renewing the drug decriminalization pilot that was implemented in 2023. The decision was made without the input of various advocacy groups in Vancouver. Staff lawyer at Pivot Legal Society, Caitlin Shane, says that people who use drugs should have a hand in the policies that impact their lives.
What it means to listen to people who use drugs is do good faith discussion and policy development with them, not just pretending to listen, but actually allowing people who use drugs to have real say and decision-making power in those processes.
Shane says the province has led a bad faith effort to maintain the pilot and listen to the suggestions both advocates and drug user-led groups have encouraged. Eden Chipperfield, BCIT News.
A Vancouver-based scholar says Canada's new Memorandum of Understanding with China has significant potential for BC's struggling industry. The University of British Columbia assistant professor Juliette Liu says China is looking into using more engineered wood for the construction of high-rises. Liu says such products would create higher economic benefits for BC than current exports.
Right now, our exports to China are dominated more by lower value products, things like pulp that goes into paper and things like unprocessed logs, which we really want to upgrade from that. So any shifts in China's market demand for Canadian timber are going to have a huge impact on the Canadian market, even if it looks like a drop in the barrel for the Chinese market.
BC Forest Minister Ravi Parmar says the move is one of many by the province to diversify trade in the face of U.S. tariffs hampering the industry. Regina police say a woman who vanished 2 years ago is believed to be dead. Deputy Chief Laurel Marshall says Nikita Jade Harris was reported missing in April 2024. The officer says she's asking anyone with information to come forward.
We understand that life circumstances change over time, and someone may have information that could assist us. Now is the time to come forward with that information. Nikita has a loving family, including a young daughter who deserves answers.
Harris's mother, Paula Murphy, says she misses her daughter and hopes police can find her. Schools were closed and commuters faced several delays this morning as heavy snow continued to hamper much of southern Ontario and parts of Quebec. Environment Canada said regions including the GTA, Kitchener, and Hamilton were expected to see up to 35 centimeters of snow into this afternoon. Toronto resident Darren Schmidt is glad that it's finally snowing.
It's about time we had some snow. As far as being in it, I got no problem. I'm an outdoor weather guy anyways. I played in the snow as a kid all the time.
The weather in Ontario is quite different from here. Environment Canada said the Ottawa area would also see up to 35 centimeters of snow. The U.S., Denmark, Greenland continued to be split on U.S. President Donald Trump's aspirations to acquire Greenland. A meeting between officials from Denmark and Greenland took place at the White House. The U.S. claims that Greenland needs to fall under U.S. umbrella in order to prevent Russia and China from acquiring it. But Danish officials say they are already shoring up security there. And at the White House today, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says a working group was established between them.
The two sides agreed to really establish a working group of individuals who will continue to have technical talks on the acquisition of Greenland. Those talks will take place, I'm told, every 2 to 3 weeks. So this is a conversation the administration intends to keep having.
Other European nations like France and Sweden are escalating a military presence. An astronaut returned to Earth with 3 others today, ending their trip to space a month early. Reserve astronaut with the UK Space Agency, Dr. Megan Christian, says having a medical doctor aboard might be a good idea.
NASA has said that they don't think there would have been any difference if there was a doctor as part of the crew. But that may be a consideration for missions where we go further afield, to the moon with the Artemis missions and then eventually to Mars. And I think it will be considered very strongly whether it's the importance of having a doctor as part of that crew.
This was the first time NASA cut short a spaceflight for medical reasons. Wikipedia is celebrating its 25th anniversary in an AI world. Lisa Dwyer expands on its current partnerships.
Wikipedia is embracing artificial intelligence to mark its 25th anniversary. The online encyclopedia, written by volunteers, has signed up new AI partners, including Meta and Microsoft, alongside existing ones like Google. Those companies are paying to access Wikipedia content. Founder Jimmy Wales welcomes the AI training on Wikipedia data, but is urging AI developers to pay for access.
We're trying to work with these companies to basically say, you're using Wikipedia, like everybody needs Wikipedia because it's human curated knowledge. You should probably chip in and pay for your fair share of the cost that you're putting on us.
Wikipedia plans to use AI to assist editors and improve search experiences while addressing criticism of bias and competition from rivals like Grokpedia. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Now let's talk about the Junos. Toronto-born actor and comedian Mae Martin will host this year's Juno Awards at a moment when they say they're feeling especially grateful to be Canadian. Martin describes hosting the Junos as a lifelong ambition and a chance to celebrate Canadian music.
Getting asked to host the Junos, there's no question. It was more a case of I've been asking to host the Junos since I was like 12. I've always wanted to do it. I love Canadian music, and I'm just thrilled, and I hope I do a good job. I hope I do it justice.
The Juno Awards broadcast will take place on March 29th in Hamilton, Ontario. Those attending will get to see some of country's biggest names, including the Arkells and the Beaches, Daniel Caesar, William Prince, and more. Now let's get into sports. The Vancouver Canucks are in Columbus tonight to take on the Blue Jackets. Puck drops at 4 in just about 20 minutes from now. The Canucks are currently on an 8-game losing streak, whereas the Abbotsford Canucks are on a 3-game winning streak, defeating Calgary Wranglers over the weekend and a win last night against the San Diego Gulls with a final score of 5-3. They go against them again tomorrow for a second time in San Diego at 7. Let's get into basketball. The WNBA's Toronto Tempo is onboarding 2 new assistant coaches. Announced today that Tempo has hired Sierra Carl and Brian Langton. Carl and Langton bring over a decade of experience across the NBA, G League, WNBA, and NCAA. The team says the assistant coaches will be involved in all aspects of team preparation and performance. This includes player development, scouting, and on-court strategy. Carl coming from the Phoenix Mercury, where she served as an assistant coach and head video coordinator since 2023, and Langton most recently served as the head video coordinator and player development coach for the New York Liberty from 2023 to 2025. So this includes Liberty's 2024 WNBA championship season. The Toronto Tempo plays its inaugural season this summer. And for baseball, a 37-year-old American baseball player is coming out for one last hurrah for his country before retirement. Correspondent Gethin Kulba reports on one of the modern era's best pitchers.
Clayton Kershaw is not done pitching just yet. He has agreed to join the U.S. team for this year's World Baseball Classic. The left-handed Kershaw announced last September that he was retiring at the end of last season. He had a stellar career with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 3-time NL Cy Young Award winner wanted to pitch for the Americans in the 2023 tournament, but was prevented because of insurance issues. The U.S., which lost the 2023 title game to Japan, opens March 6th versus Brazil at Houston. I'm Gethin Kulba.
Canada's Victoria Mboko has earned a spot in yet another semifinal. The 19-year-old tennis phenom from Toronto outlasted American Madison Keys for a quarterfinals win at the Adelaide International Tennis Tournament Thursday. Mboko, the tournament's 8th seed, broke Keys early en route to winning the first set, but couldn't compete with the reigning Australian Open champion's big serve in the second. But now she'll face Kimberly Burrell of Australia in the semifinals today at 4:30. She's set to make her debut at the Australian Open later this month after her breakout 2025 season on the WTA Tour. And in weather in Vancouver, it's 9 degrees. It's mainly sunny. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT. I'm Caroline Doyle. We're back on Monday for more news updates.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
I would recommend this program for anyone that isn't sure what kind of job they want in media, because you learn everything from like public relations to communications to video editing, like radio, TV. So you do get a lot of experience in all the different fields in media.